Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Boundary Road. My name's Kitty Kara and I'm here with Danny Doyle. He's a descendant of the Yugambeh speaking people and our cultural facilitator. On this segment you'll be joining us on a journey through the ancient tracks of the First Nations people of the Brisbane area. On each episode we'll uncover the history of a particular part of Brisbane and explore its significance. For this season our adventure along the trail will end in Cleveland, but today we begin with the Brisbane River itself. So Danny, where exactly does the Brisbane River start?
The river, the Warrell, starts at, I believe, around Mount Cooroy and Mount Stanley area. Yeah, and then it works its way down, obviously, to the mouth and out to the island.
And where's Mount Stanley?
Oh, that's way, way back. So the people would have travelled and walked and hunted and gathered all the way from the top of that river, from the beginning of that river, and walked many pathways and tracks to and from those places. And there's plenty of evidence around for that with the amount of food they come across in those areas, which are still around today in some places. Coming from so far away from other places, with people coming from other countries, such as the Cubby themselves, or people going to the Cubby area, as well as going to the Waka Waka area, and which are our neighbours, of course, and then having to pass through places like Yarrawa country to get to the Bunya Mountains, and people coming as far as New South Wales, even travelling down, coming through Brisbane and the islands as well, and they're on their way to this Bunya festival, and there was Bunya pines all over the place, even in Brisbane. But that's where they had a big gathering every 3 years.
Yeah.
And so people would travel from months and months to get to these places, and they would have to stop at each place and do the Bullen Bullen, which is the Bullen Bullen is the corroboree or the Bora grounds that we have today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they would do ceremony, they would have big feast, and everybody would come together, and they'd have to sort out problems along the way as well, because, the people coming from as far out as Carnarvon, Gorge, even coming down towards the Bunya Mountains, and people coming as far as Lismore, people coming from Newknuckle and Morton Island and all the other little islands around there as well, working their way into the Brisbane area.
Yeah.
And then working their way up the Brisbane River towards the Bunya Festival.
Okay.
So
and how often did they do that?
Oh, that would have happened, the big feast was every 3 years.
Okay.
So the Brisbane River was alive with a lot of visitors regardless, in and out of that time. And people would come in and camp, and you'd find a lot of different visitors, different nations, working their way into Brisbane and meeting other relatives, obviously with families as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd come and visit their relatives and the people they have married into, your bungees.
Your in-laws?
In-laws, yeah. So they would bring their partners would come in, and they'd be part of the area as well.
Right.
And you would come in and be accepted as, these children in particular, be accepted as descendants of this area.
Okay, so if you married someone from Brisbane, then you would become part of the Brisbane clans?
Yes.
Clan groups?
Absolutely.
And permission to travel through country?
Absolutely, yeah.
I know that the Brisbane River is mostly a bracken river, so there's not a lot of salt water in it. People need to drink fresh water, so is a lot of the lifestyle around some of the water holes and things like that?
Oh, definitely. We would basically camp on the ridges between the rivers.
Okay.
So we would be on high country enough, and very rarely would we stay on any flat country.
Yeah.
And in particular, especially if it's raining and the high tide season.
Yeah.
So when the high waters would come, we would definitely go up the hills further and stay out of that low-lying area and all the animals would come to us as well.
Yeah.
And we would come down to the low-lying areas where there's like thick scrub and swampy ground with a lot of ferns and all the pines and the rainforesty fruits and nuts and stuff that are around. We just eat them and live on those, but there are times when you don't touch those things, and there are people with totems and that will not eat certain meats in particular.
So tell me about totems.
Well, every group has totems and families and person, yeah. So we'll have families that'll use feathered animals.
Okay, yeah.
Eagles, kookaburras, willy wagtail, scrub turkey as well.
And if something's your totem, does that mean you eat it or you don't eat it?
Most people would say no, you don't eat it.
Yeah.
But if you're at a point where you need to eat, usually that totem will come because it's like a guide or
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or it'll care for you enough to sacrifice itself to you. Yeah.
And when people talk about custodianship, are they talking about, so that's a bit of that mutual caring between the animals or the totems and the people?
Absolutely. It is the caring and sharing side of things. There's also the seasons as well, because whether it's time for them to hibernate or it's their mating season. So we'll know that, and we'll know not to go and hunt them because we want them to produce more life.
Yeah.
To keep us more sustainable.
Okay. With the totems and the Brisbane River, I guess are there particular ones associated with the river itself?
You have your bird animals that I've just mentioned, so they're feathered animals. You have your skin animals, which are the frogs, the snakes, lizards as well.
Well, that's it for today, Danny. On next week's episode, we'll travel to West End. Now don't forget to watch Beyond the Boundary Road at the same time next week. Thanks for watching, and make sure that you keep exploring the country you live on.